Let's talk about ferns.
Not this one, but yes.
Not flowers, not trees, not succulents, but the green prehistoric veterans of the plant game. Ferns are basically the boomers of the plant kingdom. They've been here for over 360 million years and somehow still refuse to retire. They've outlived dinosaurs, ice ages, continental shifts. But how do they do it? How does a plant that doesn't even bother with flowers still exist today in your grandma's garden and your roommate's shower caddy? Well, buckle up, because today we're breaking down ferns, their origin story, how they level up, and why they're still relevant in the 2025 plant meter. Ferns first showed up during the Devonian period, which is around 360 million years ago. At that time, the plant world was dominated by tiny mosses and algae, basically starter Pokemon with no real moves. Then ferns came along with a massive upgrade, vascular tissue. Think of it as plants unlocking the ability to install plumbing. This meant they could transport water and nutrients more efficiently and therefore grow taller and thicker. This was game-changing. Suddenly, ferns weren't just little ground cover players. They were forming entire prehistoric forests. They eventually became the coal we still burn today. So yeah, every time someone fires up a barbecue or drives their car, they're basically running on ancient fern energy. Ferns, literally fueling civilization since day one. Here's where it gets fun, or confusing, depending on how many cups of coffee you've had. Most plants, are flowers, fruits, vegetables, reproduce using seeds. Easy, clean, straightforward. But ferns looked at that and said, nah, let's make this weird. Instead of seeds, ferns reproduce with spores, tiny dust-like particles that they release in the millions. You'll usually see them on the underside of fern leaves in little brown clusters called sori. When a spore lands somewhere damp and cozy, it doesn't grow into a fern right away. Instead, it levels up into this strange heart-shaped thing called a prothallus. The prothallus is basically a little green alien pad that has both male and female parts. And if conditions are right, boom, out pops a new fern. So yeah, instead of tinder and seed packets, ferns just make microscopic dust babies that turn into little alien pancakes before eventually becoming proper plants. It's complicated, but hey, it's worked for hundreds of millions of years. Now you might think all ferns look the same, just green leafy fronds. But actually, there are over 10,000 species of ferns. You've got tree ferns, which can grow up to 25 feet tall and look like palm trees cosplaying as dinosaurs. Maidenhair ferns, which are delicate, lacy, and probably follow cottagecore Pinterest boards. Staghorn ferns, which grow like antlers on a wall, having an insane look hanging itself from above. Can't say much, just absolute beast of a plant. Basically, ferns have been around so long, they've experimented with every possible leaf aesthetic. Here's the real flex. Ferns are masters of adaptation. They thrive in shady forests, humid bathrooms, rocky cliffs, tropical jungles, and even sidewalk cracks in big cities. They've got low light tolerance, which is like a cheat code for surviving in apartments with one tiny window. Some ferns have even evolved to be drought resistant, while others hitch rides on trees as epiphytes, freeloaders but classy ones. And here's the kicker, ferns are still spreading. They're used as ornamentals indoors, they naturally clean the air, and some species even remove toxins from the soil. So while other prehistoric creatures got nerfed into extinction, ferns stayed relevant, reinventing themselves like Madonna but with spores. So should you add ferns to your real-life loadout? Well, here are the perks. Low maintenance, they just want a little humidity and indirect light. Air purifying, they clean your space while looking good. Aesthetic, from cottagecore to Jurassic Park vibes, there's a fern for every style. Downsides? Well, some ferns can be tricky to grow and too fragile. Other types of ferns can spread with insane speed, take over your garden, and require trimming regularly. A few of them can be poisonous. Very small percentage, but still, if you have a luck of a brick, or your dog loves to eat random leaves, then it can cause some trouble. But overall, ferns are a solid A-tier plant choice. Tanky, versatile, and ancient enough to demand respect. So the next time you see a fern in the corner of your bathroom or that hip cafe with overpriced lattes, just remember, you're looking at one of nature's most successful players. A build so strong, it survived everything Earth threw at it for 360 million years. Don't fear the spores, respect the law. That's all for today's episode. Drop a like if you learned something. I know that the animation is still kinda ass, but I will learn and improve it in the next video. Hope you guys like it, and if possible, please tell me your opinions on how to improve my video. Thanks guys, see you in the next.